The medical ship drifted slowly above the broken moon, its hull scarred by old battles and hurried repairs. Inside, the air smelled of disinfectant, metal, and quiet fear. The war had reached even this forgotten place. For the humans aboard the ship, there was no glory here, only work that never seemed to end. Ethan Hale moved quickly through the narrow corridor, his boots echoing softly against the floor. He was a medic, not a soldier. His uniform was simple, marked only with the symbol of medical aid. He carried a portable scanner in one hand and a small medical kit in the other. His face showed exhaustion, but his eyes stayed sharp. People depended on him staying focused. The ship had taken in wounded survivors from a recent clash between rebel forces and the Tyrant King's fleet. Most were humans. Some were aliens from worlds crushed by the King's rule. Ethan did not ask where they came from. Pain looked the same on every species. He stepped into the main treatment bay. Rows of beds filled the room, each holding someone hurt or dying. Machines hummed softly, keeping hearts beating and lungs working. A few patients moaned quietly. Others lay still, their lives hanging by thin threads. "Ethan," another medic called out. "We found someone new in the cargo hold." Ethan frowned. "Cargo hold? How?" "They were hidden, wrapped in thermal cloth, bad shape." Ethan nodded once. "I'm coming." He followed the medic toward the back of the ship. The cargo hold was dim, lit only by emergency lights. On the floor lay a figure much taller than a human, covered in dark blue blood. The body armor was cracked and burned. The face was partially hidden, but Ethan could see smooth, pale skin and sharp features that marked her as a highborn alien. "She's not human," the other medic said carefully. "I can see that," Ethan replied. "She might be enemy." Ethan knelt beside the injured alien without hesitation. He activated his scanner, moving it slowly over her body. The device beeped and displayed data in quick lines. Internal bleeding, fractured ribs, severe energy burns along her side. She was alive, but barely. "She'll die if we don't treat her," Ethan said. The other medic shifted uneasily. "If command finds out—" "I know," Ethan interrupted. His voice stayed calm but firm. "Bring a stretcher, now." The alien stirred weakly, a low sound escaping her throat. Her eyes opened just a little, glowing faintly silver in the dim light. She looked at Ethan with confusion, then fear. Ethan met her gaze and spoke slowly, clearly. "You're safe. I'm a medic. I'm going to help you." He did not know if she understood his words. Still, he kept his tone gentle. They moved her into a private medical room. Ethan worked carefully, sealing wounds, stabilizing organs, and administering universal pain suppressants. Sweat ran down his forehead as he focused on the delicate work. One wrong move could kill her. Hours passed before her condition stabilized. Ethan finally stepped back, letting out a slow breath. His hands shook slightly from exhaustion. He leaned against the wall and closed his eyes for a moment. Then the ship's internal alert sounded softly in his ear. "Unidentified patient confirmed," the ship system said. "Cross-referencing database." Ethan's eyes opened. "Identity match found," the system continued. "High-probability subject is royal bloodline, daughter of the Tyrant King." The words hit him like a physical blow. Ethan stared at the alien woman lying unconscious on the bed. The Tyrant King, the ruler whose fleets burned cities and erased entire species. His name was spoken in whispers across the galaxy, and this was his daughter. Ethan swallowed hard. He could call command. He could report it and be done with it. The ship might even be spared if they handed her over. That was the logical choice, the safe choice. Instead, Ethan checked her vitals again. "She's my patient," he murmured. News traveled fast on a ship. By the next cycle, the crew knew something was wrong. Whispers followed Ethan through the halls. Eyes lingered on him longer than usual. Some looked afraid. Others looked angry. Captain Reyes finally called him in. The captain's office was small and functional. Reyes sat behind her desk, arms crossed, her expression tight. Tell me it's not true, she said. Ethan stood straight. It's true. You know what she is. Yes. You know what will happen if the king finds out she's here. Yes. Reyes rubbed her face. Then why is she still alive? Ethan did not hesitate. Because she was dying and I'm a medic. Reyes stared at him for a long moment. That answer may get us all killed. Maybe, Ethan said quietly. But if we let her die when we could save her, then we're already lost. Silence filled the room. Finally, Reyes exhaled slowly. You have 48 hours. After that, we decide what to do. Ethan nodded. Thank you. When Ethan returned to the medical room, the alien woman was awake. Her eyes were fully open now, sharp and alert. She tried to sit up, then winced in pain. Easy, Ethan said, stepping forward. You're badly hurt. She froze when she saw him. Her gaze moved quickly around the room, taking in the equipment, the symbols, the human technology. You are human, she said. Her voice was low, accented but clear. Yes, Ethan replied. I'm Ethan. I treated your injuries. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Why? Ethan paused. Because you needed help. That is not an answer, she said. It's the only one I have. She studied him carefully as if searching for a lie. Do you know who I am? Yes. A flicker of surprise crossed her face. And you still helped me. Yes. She looked away, her expression unreadable. You are foolish. Ethan smiled faintly. I've been told that before. She was silent for a long time, then she spoke again. My father would have let you die. I know. Then why are you different? Ethan thought about that. About Earth. About why humans kept sending medics into war zones where they did not belong. Because if we stop caring, he said slowly, then there's nothing left worth saving. She looked back at him, something shifting in her eyes. Not trust, not yet, but confusion, and maybe something else. My name is Liara, she said at last. I should not be alive. Ethan nodded. But you are. Liara's gaze softened just a little. You have changed many things by saving me, human medic. Ethan felt a chill run through him. I didn't mean to change anything. Liara's lips curved into a faint, sad smile. None of us ever do. Outside the medical room, far beyond the broken moon, unseen sensors activated. A signal pulsed through the darkness, racing toward the heart of the Tyrant King's empire. The hunt had begun. Liara's recovery was slow but steady. Each cycle, Ethan checked her vitals, adjusted treatments, and stayed nearby longer than he needed to. He told himself it was professional caution, nothing more. Still, he could not ignore the strange tension that filled the medical room whenever she was awake. She watched everything. Her silver eyes followed the movement of machines, studied the walls, the ceiling, the smallest details of the ship. She asked few questions, but when she did, they were sharp and direct. How many are wounded? She asked one cycle while Ethan changed a stabilizer patch along her side. Too many, Ethan replied. More than we have beds for. And you still help all of them. Yes. Even those who fight against you, Ethan met her gaze. Especially those. Liara was silent after that. Her long fingers rested on the bed, claws retracted, hands still weak. In her world, mercy was a tool used only when it gained power. Here, it seemed to be something else. Outside the medical room, the ship felt heavier with each passing hour. Crew members spoke in hushed voices. Patrol sensors showed unusual movement at the edge of the system. Long-range scanners picked up faint signals, too distant to identify but strong enough to worry the captain. Captain Reyes called another meeting. This time more officers were present. Fear sat openly on their faces. The Tyrant King's fleet is searching this sector, the navigator said. Not openly, quiet probes, hunter signals. Reyes looked at Ethan. They're looking for her. Ethan nodded. I know. If they find us, one officer said, they won't ask questions. We don't have the firepower to fight them, another added. Silence followed. Finally, Reyes spoke. We need options. All eyes turned to Ethan. He felt the weight of it. She's still too weak to move safely, he said. If we eject her or force her into a shuttle, she'll die. And if we keep her, Reyes said, we might all die. Ethan took a slow breath. Give me more time. Reyes hesitated. Then she nodded. One more cycle. That's all I can give you. When Ethan returned to the medical room, Liara sensed the change immediately. They are afraid, she said. Yes. Of me? Yes. Liara's lips tightened. Then they are wise, Ethan frowned. You didn't ask for this. No, Liara said quietly. But my existence creates it. She shifted, clearly uncomfortable. Ethan moved closer, adjusting the support field around her ribs. You should rest, he said. Tell me something, human medic, Liara said. If I had been your enemy openly, if I had commanded ships that destroyed your worlds, would you still have saved me? Ethan did not answer right away. He thought of burning cities he had seen through screens, refugees screaming, children pulled from rubble. Yes, he said finally. I would have. Liara studied his face. Then humans truly are different or truly foolish. Sometimes both, Ethan said. That earned a quiet sound from her, almost a laugh. Later, when the ship entered a low-power drift to avoid detection, Liara asked to see the wounded bay. Ethan hesitated. You're not strong enough. I need to see, she insisted. If I am to die for being here, I will at least understand why you choose this path. After careful thought, Ethan agreed. They moved her slowly through the corridor supported by a floating medical frame. Crew members froze when they saw her. Some reached instinctively for weapons. Others turned away. Liara noticed everything. In the main treatment bay, rows of wounded filled the space. Humans. Aliens, rebels, civilians, all treated the same. Liara's breathing slowed as she watched. A human nurse knelt beside a reptilian alien, gently cleaning a burn wound. A soldier with one arm missing whispered thanks to a medic who stayed with him. No one asked names. No one asked sides. They would save my father, Liara said softly. Ethan nodded. Yes. Her jaw tightened. They should not. Why? Because he would kill them without thought. Ethan looked at her. We know. Then why do you still choose this? Ethan searched for the right words. Because if we become like him, then he wins. Liara closed her eyes. That night, alarms rang through the ship. Multiple signatures detected, the system announced. Unidentified vessels approaching. The crew rushed to stations. Power levels dropped as the ship shifted into full stealth. The lights dimmed. The hum of the engines lowered to a whisper. Liara felt the change immediately. They are close. Yes, Ethan said. You must let me go. Ethan looked at her sharply. What? They will destroy you to reach me, she said calmly. Release me in an escape pod, I will draw them away. You won't survive, Ethan said. That is acceptable. No, Ethan said firmly. It's not. Liara stared at him. Why does my life matter so much to you? Because it does, Ethan replied. That's enough. Before she could respond, the ship shook slightly. A low vibration passed through the hull. They are scanning, Rey's voice came over the intercom. If they pinpoint us, we're done. Ethan made a decision. He disconnected Liara's restraints and helped her stand. Come with me. Where? She asked. To the auxiliary bay. Reyes met them there, eyes wide. What are you doing? I can mask her life signature, Ethan said. But I need access to the ship's core systems. That's insane, Reyes said. Probably, Ethan replied, but it might work. Reyes stared at Liara, then at Ethan. Then she nodded. Do it. Ethan worked fast, rerouting power, syncing medical fields with engine emissions. Liara felt strange, as if her body was fading in and out of reality. Outside, enemy probes passed close enough that the ship's hull creaked under the pressure of scans. Seconds stretched like hours. Then, silence. Signatures lost, the system announced. Enemy vessels withdrawing. A collective breath released across the ship. Liara sagged, exhausted. Ethan caught her before she fell. You risked everything, she whispered. So did you, Ethan said. No, Liara replied weakly. I have always lived in risk. You chose it. When she was stable again, Liara looked at Ethan with something new in her eyes. My father rules by fear, she said. I fight him in secret, but I am still his blood. Ethan listened. Humans, she continued, are dangerous in a way the galaxy does not understand. You do not rule by fear. You do not fight only to conquer, you heal, you protect, even when it costs you. She met his gaze. That is why tyrants will always fear you. Ethan said nothing. Far away aboard a massive warship, the Tyrant King stood before a star map. His eyes burned with fury. "Find her," he commanded. "Burn every shadow. She is alive, I feel it." And across the void, the quiet human medical ship drifted on, carrying a secret that was already beginning to change the fate of the galaxy. The medical ship did not stay in one place for long after the close call. Captain Reyes ordered a slow, careful route through dead zones and debris fields, places where scanners struggled and signals broke apart. The crew moved quietly, speaking only when needed. Everyone knew the danger was not gone. It had only moved farther away. Liara grew stronger with each cycle. She could now walk on her own, though Ethan insisted she move slowly. Her wounds were healing, but the deeper damage, both physical and unseen, took longer. She spent more time outside the medical room now. She watched the crew work. She listened. She saw how humans argued openly with their captain, yet followed her orders when it mattered. She saw how medics shared supplies without counting. She saw engineers work until their hands shook, not for reward, but because others depended on them. None of it made sense to her. On her homeworld, power was taken, not given. Loyalty was forced, not earned. Kindness was weakness unless it was a mask. Here it was real. One cycle, Ethan found Liara standing near the observation window, staring at the stars. Her hands were clasped behind her back, posture straight despite her injuries. "You should be resting," he said gently. She did not turn. "I have rested my whole life," she replied, "while others suffered." Ethan joined her, leaning against the wall. The stars outside shifted slowly as the ship moved. "Your father," Ethan said carefully, "you said you oppose him." "Yes," Liara said, "in secret." "Why secret?" "Because open rebellion would destroy worlds," she answered. "He would burn entire systems just to make a point." Ethan frowned. "And what about now?" Liara turned to face him. "Now he will do it anyway." Ethan felt a cold weight settle in his chest. "Because of us." "Because of me," Liara corrected. "You are only guilty by proximity." Ethan shook his head. "That's not how it works." Liara studied him. "That is exactly how it works in my empire." Later that cycle, a damaged shuttle appeared on the ship's passive sensors. It drifted without power, barely holding together. Life signs were weak but present. Reyes hesitated only a moment before ordering a recovery. Ethan led the medical response team. When they opened the shuttle, they found 3 beings inside: 2 rebel fighters and 1 small alien child, badly injured. Liara watched from a distance as Ethan rushed to the child's side. "She is enemy-aligned," one crew member muttered. "Rebel faction." "She's a child," Ethan replied sharply. "Help me." They worked together, stabilizing the child, sealing wounds, easing pain. The child survived. Liara's hands trembled slightly as she watched. That night, Liara could not sleep. Memories came unbidden. Cities on fire. Orders given in her father's name. Silence where life once existed. She found Ethan in the supply bay, sorting medical packs. "Your people saved a rebel child today," she said. "Yes," Ethan replied. "That child's family may one day fight you." "Maybe," Ethan said. "Or maybe they won't. We don't get to decide that." Liara's voice grew tight. "My father would have used the child as leverage. Or an example." "I know," Ethan said softly. She looked at him, eyes shining. "If the galaxy saw what I have seen here, his throne would not survive." Ethan froze. "That is dangerous talk," he said. "It is truth," Liara replied, "and truth is dangerous to tyrants." The next warning came without sound. Long-range sensors picked up a distortion wave, advanced, precise, unmistakable. A royal hunter fleet. Reyes ordered full silence. Engines powered down. Lights dimmed until the ship felt like a ghost drifting through space. "They are closer than before," the navigator whispered. Liara closed her eyes. He has narrowed the search. Ethan felt a surge of fear, not for himself, but for the people around him. We can't outrun them, Reyes said. We can't fight them. Liara opened her eyes. Then you must let me speak to him. Reyes turned sharply. Absolutely not. It is the only way, Liara said. He will listen to me. He will use you, Reyes replied. Yes, Liara said calmly, and I will use him. Ethan stepped forward. What are you planning? Liara looked at him, a truth he cannot ignore. They gathered in the command room. The air felt heavy. Liara explained her plan. She would broadcast an open signal revealing her survival. She would accuse her father publicly of hunting a medical ship filled with wounded civilians. She would describe what she had seen, human mercy, human courage. And then, Reyes asked. And then, Liara said, he will face a choice, retreat and show weakness. Or attack and prove everything I say. And if he attacks, someone asked. Then the galaxy will see, Liara replied. Ethan's heart pounded. This puts everyone at risk. Liara met his gaze. You already risked everything for me. Let me risk something for you. The signal went out. Liara stood before the camera, her injuries visible, her voice steady. My father hunts me, she said. Not because I am weak, but because I refuse to be cruel. She spoke of burned worlds, of silence after conquest, of humans who healed without asking names. If you destroy this ship, she said, you will prove that mercy frightens you more than rebellion. Silence followed. Minutes passed. Then a response. The Tyrant King's face appeared on the screen, cold, powerful, furious. You shame your blood, he said. Liara did not flinch. You shame existence. The fleet paused. Sensors lit up as signals spread across nearby systems. Observers, traders, neutrals. The galaxy was watching. The Tyrant King's jaw tightened. His eyes flicked to the data pouring in. Retreat would show weakness. Attack would ignite outrage. Finally, he spoke. Withdraw, he ordered his fleet. The signal cut. A breath released across the ship. They had survived. But Ethan knew something else had happened. This was no longer just about escape. Liara leaned against the wall, exhausted. Ethan rushed to her side. You did it, he said. No, she replied weakly. We did. Far away, systems began to whisper. A tyrant's daughter had spoken. Humans had healed where others destroyed. Seeds were planted. And seeds, Ethan knew, could grow into revolutions. The days after the broadcast felt unreal. The medical ship moved again, slow and careful, but the fear that once pressed on every breath had changed. It was no longer only fear. It was expectation. Messages began arriving through hidden channels. Some were cautious, some were desperate, some were full of disbelief. They're asking if it's true, the communications officer said quietly. About the humans, about the medical ship. Captain Reyes looked at Ethan. What do I tell them? Ethan thought for a moment. Tell them the truth, so they did. They told stories of medics shielding patients during bombardments, of food shared when supplies ran low, of wounded enemies treated with the same care as friends. No speeches, no threats. Just facts. The messages multiplied. Liara watched it all from the observation deck. Her injuries were nearly healed now, though Ethan still insisted on regular checks. She moved with more confidence, her posture no longer guarded, her eyes no longer distant. You have started something, Ethan said one cycle as he adjusted a final medical scan. Liara met his gaze. So have you. I didn't mean to, Ethan replied. She smiled slightly. Neither did I. The Tyrant King did not remain silent for long. His fleets did not attack, but they moved. Borders tightened, trade routes closed. Worlds that had long suffered quietly now found themselves watched more closely than ever. Fear returned, but it was different. It was mixed with hope. One night, alarms sounded again. This time the alert was internal. Unauthorized boarding signal detected, the system announced. The crew rushed to stations. Weapons were raised. Ethan's heart pounded. A small shuttle docked with the ship. Its markings were old, neutral. The airlock cycled. Out stepped a delegation of aliens from 3 different species, all from worlds under the Tyrant King's rule. They did not bow. They did not threaten. They asked for help. "They are watching us," one delegate said. "If we rebel openly, we will be destroyed." Liara stepped forward. "Then don't rebel openly." They looked at her in shock. "You have already shown another way," she continued. "Truth, witness, unity." The delegates listened. Plans were formed not of fleets and weapons but of information, of coordinated broadcasts, of shared evidence, of medical ships sent where they were least expected. Humans were asked to help. Ethan struggled with it. "We're medics," he said to Reyes. "Not revolutionaries." Reyes nodded. "But sometimes saving lives means changing the system that keeps hurting them." Ethan thought of the child from the shuttle, of the wounded in the bay, of Liara bleeding and alone. He agreed. The medical ship became something more, not a weapon but a symbol. It traveled openly now, broadcasting its position, daring the Tyrant King to strike it down in full view of the galaxy. He did not. Instead, more ships joined them, medical vessels, supply carriers, neutral observers. The galaxy watched. Liara stood before another broadcast, but this time she was not alone. Humans stood beside her. Aliens from many worlds stood with her. "My father taught that fear keeps order," she said. "Humans taught me that care builds loyalty." Across the Empire, soldiers hesitated. Officers questioned orders. Systems delayed cooperation. The Tyrant King's power began to fracture, but tyrants do not fall quietly. The counterattack came suddenly. A world near the core systems, heavily populated, poorly defended, was targeted. The message was clear: submit or suffer. The medical fleet rushed toward the system. Ethan worked without rest, preparing for mass casualties. He did not think about danger. He did not think about politics. He thought about people. The battle did not come as expected. As the Tyrant King's fleet approached the planet, ships turned away. One by one, crews refused orders. Command chains broke. Liara watched the tactical feed, her hands clenched. "He is losing control," she whispered. Then a single transmission cut through the noise. The Tyrant King himself. "This ends now," he said. "Return to me, daughter, or watch them burn." Liara closed her eyes. Ethan stepped closer. "You don't have to answer." "Yes," she said softly. "I do." She faced the camera. "I will not return," Liara said. "I will not rule through fear. I will not stand beside cruelty." The Tyrant King's face twisted with rage. "You are nothing without me." Liara's voice did not shake. "I am everything you tried to destroy." The transmission ended. Seconds passed. Then silence. No attack came. Instead, the Tyrant King's flagship powered down. Across the Empire, systems declared independence. Fleets stood down. The war, long and brutal, ended not with a final strike, but with refusal. Weeks later, the medical ship docked at a neutral station filled with representatives from countless worlds. Liara was offered a throne. She refused. "I will help rebuild," she said, "but I will not rule alone." Ethan was offered honors, titles, wealth. He refused too. "I just want a bigger medical bay," he said simply. The room laughed softly with relief. As the galaxy began to heal, the story spread. Not of a great battle, not of a powerful weapon, but of a human medic who treated an enemy without hesitation. Of a daughter who learned mercy from those she was taught to hate. Of a truth that proved stronger than fear. Ethan returned to his work, moving through rows of patients, his hands steady, his heart full. Liara walked beside him, no longer a hunted princess, but a bridge between worlds. The galaxy would remember many things about this time, but most of all it would remember this, that humanity did not conquer the stars. Humanity healed them.